timelines now. And this section of this topic is very important because it's usually tested every year. It's either you can find it in term 3 or in term 4, but it's usually tested. It's one of the most questions which is tested because apparently many learners do not get this right. So they keep on repeating timelines. Okay, let's do it quickly. It says a savings account was opened with an initial deposit of 24,000. We know that if it's a deposit to an account, then this money will grow. Okay. And then it says 18 months later, 700 was withdrawn. So 700 was taken out of this account. So they added this 24,000, and after 18 months, they took out 7,000. And then it says calculate how much will be in the savings account at the end of 4 years. So if you know when is your timeline going to end, you can simply sketch a diagram showing your timeline and your changes made in that timeline. So your timeline will start from T0. The reason why your timeline starts from T0 is because you start from the day that that particular person made the investment or made the deposit. So, if you go to a bank and you want to open a savings account to save money, you cannot go to the bank and open a savings account and then go deposit the money 1 year later. It doesn't make sense. You should have just made that account after 1 year. So it doesn't really make sense to make an account in January and then start depositing in December. That's why our timeline starts from T0 because you do not start after 1 year. You start immediately after opening the savings account. Okay. And then we know this timeline will end in T4 because they want us to calculate the value in 4 years' time. And then you can see that our interest rate here has not changed in anyhow. If your interest rate, let me do it here. If your interest rate has not changed, it means your interest rate will be like this in all years. So it means this 24,000 will keep growing and growing and growing and growing and growing and growing up until T4 by 10.5%. Okay, and they say it's compounded monthly, so we know that there's a compounding period here. What happens on T0 when you are opening that account now? What did you do? You deposited an amount of 24,000. And then what changes did you do while that 24,000 was growing? You withdrawn 7,000. It means 7,000 was taken out of that account. But when was it taken? In 18 months. So let's see. 18 months is how many years? Can any one of you tell me how many years is 18 months?
1.5 years.
1.5 years. Thank you for that. So it means on T1,5, that person took out, I don't know why I did not give this person a name, but it's okay. That person took out an amount of 7,000. So when it on T1,5, if you guys don't know where she got 1,5, you know that you have 12 We have 12 months in 1 year, so you simply divide those months by 12 for you to get your number of years. So here it will be 3/2, which is simply 1,5 years. Okay, that's how you get your number of years, right? I'll show you if you want to write this as months, you can write it as 18 months. You can write your timeline here as 18 months. I'll show you how a person who wrote this as 1,5 will do his or her calculations, and how a person who wrote 18 months will do his or her calculations. They will differ a bit, but most things will be the same, right? So now, there are two ways to do this. You can do it simultaneously, and you can also do it separately. So when you do it simultaneously, remember we said this money grows and it's compounded monthly, so it means the formula would be compound interest, compound growth from grade 10. Okay, so now without paying attention to this withdrawn 7,000, simply calculate how much would this amount be if that person did not take out the 7,000. Let's say this person did not take out the 7,000. What would the amount be in 4 years? Let's see. It's 24,000. Someone please use a calculator as I substitute here. Okay, let's first write it like this because it's affected. Right. Please substitute there in your calculator. 1 plus our interest is 0,105, 10,5%, remember. And then it's compounded monthly. So it's for 4 years. Okay. Uh, what value did you get here, guys? What value do you find?
36,460,41.
It's in rands. Okay. So it means that if this person did not withdraw this money, it is what he or she will have get or gotten rather. Okay. So what happens if he withdraws then? What happens if he withdraws? If he withdraws, it means this amount will be affected, right? But remember, the account has an interest. So you cannot just take out 7,000 without taking in consideration the effect of that interest. So we are also going to calculate this amount the same way. It will affect the growth, so you will calculate it the very same way. So I said I've shown you the two ways of calculating this. If a person wrote our timeline as 1,5, or if a person wrote his or her timeline as 18 months. So for a person who wrote his or her timeline as 1,5 years, what you would simply do is remember, he withdrew the money after 1,5 years. So it will mean that the growth of this amount will be somewhere here. I don't know if you can see that. The growth of this amount will be somewhere here. So it will only have an effect at this part of the timeline. So how many years is this part of the timeline? Can anyone tell me how many years is this portion of the timeline?
2,5.
It's it's 4,5.
2,5.
Yeah, it's 2,5. It's 4 minus 1,5, which would give you 2,5. So it means this withdrawal will have an effect in 2,5 years. So here it's say 1 plus 0.105. It's still compounded monthly. And then you'll say 2.5 multiplied by 12. And then what value are you going to get there?
$9,090.85.
8,090 or 9,090, comma
85.
85. Okay, so this is the amount. Remember, he took out 7,000, but that 7,000 will have an effect with an interest. So from here, we'd say that the amount that this person will get, the final amount that this person would get is this 36 and 460.41 minus the withdrawal. Okay. So what value would that give you? This is the amount that he will get now because of this withdrawal of 7,000. I said that I will show you if you said 18 months. If you see that converting your months into years will somehow confuse you, you can take it as months. But now what we are going to do is we are going to check how many months are in 4 years. So what we are going to do first, we're first going to convert your total years into months. So 4 multiplied by 12 simply gives you what? Let's see. 4 multiplied by 12, 12 times 2 is that. So it will be 48 months in 4 years, right? It will be 48 months in 4 years. So what you do with this 48 months, you say 48 months. Remember, we said we are going to take this part of the timeline. So if this whole thing is 48 months, then it will mean that this one is 48 minus this one. So for you to get the months that you're going to use, you're going to say 48 minus 18, which would give you 30. If you can check, if you multiply 2.5 times 12, it will also give you 30. So you did not lose your mathematics here. So we'll just say A is equal to 7,000 rather into 1 plus 0.105 over 12. And then you'd say to the power 30 instead of saying 2.5 times 12. And then obviously we'd arrive to the same answer, which is 9,090.85. Okay, so if you don't want, if you see that converting your 18 months into years would confuse you, you can also use this method here. Okay.